Hey Highlands Church, this is Pastor James coming to you with a midweek message to lift you up and give you some encouragement. And after this message, I'm going to give you some announcements, some big things that you may not have even heard of before, things that we've never announced before, and that are going to change this world because of your participation in prayer for them. So the big idea that I want to share with you, that I really believe will encourage you, is this simple one, that we don't always see the whole picture in life. And that means that we make judgments about other people. For instance, when someone's driving really fast or when someone else is driving really slow, you often think that they're reckless and they're being a reckless driver. And when in fact, sometimes when that person is driving fast, they may be going to save someone's life. Or the person who's driving slow may actually be driving slow because they're going through deep grief and the tears are making it hard for them to drive and they're actually being really safe and trying to get through the day. See, these judgments of other people are made because we don't see the whole picture. Now, here's a question I'd like to ask you. Who do you think is ridiculous? Think about somebody in your world and you just think about them. And who do you think has ridiculous behavior or unexplainable or irrational behavior? Well, you probably think this because you can't see the backstory. You don't see the things that have led up to their behavior or their actions. And as a result, you make judgments about who they are and what they're doing. But the reality is there's no such thing as irrational behavior. Everything makes sense when you get the whole picture. And Jesus teaches us that we should be careful when we make snap judgments about other people, and that we should be aware that there is a deeper wisdom and mystery going on around us. And one of the most beautiful stories of that is in Luke chapter 21, verse 1 through 4. 4 sentences that changed the world. This is the story. It says, looking up, Jesus saw rich people throwing their gifts into the collection box for the temple treasury. And he also saw a poor widow throw in 2 small copper coins worth just a penny. He said, I assure you that this poor widow has put in more than them all. Think of that. Some of them put in tons of money. They put in so much money throwing it into this box and making a lot of noise. But then he said these words, all of them are giving out of their spare change. Ouch. They knew what he was talking about. He knew what he was talking about. They weren't giving from their first fruits. They weren't giving from a place of sacrifice or even a place where they would have any reliance on God the next day. They were just giving what extra they had. And it says, she, Jesus says, from her hopeless poverty has given everything she had to live on. Now here's the big idea for today, and I pray that it encourages you. See, God sees and he loves every true gift that is given. Even though other people may judge you for the gifts that you give that are sacrificial, that hurt in a way, you know what? God sees it. And I want you to be inspired because those gifts make a big difference. I'll bet the widow who gave those 2 little copper coins probably didn't think they would make a big difference in the world. But those 2 copper coins ended up in a testimony that Jesus shared and that was shared in the gospel to millions of people worldwide that all started to give sacrificially. And as a result, hospitals have been born and built, and wells have been built, and orphanages have been built, and people have been saved because of the sacrificial giving that people have made in response to the widow's 2 copper pennies she probably thought would make no difference in the world. You see, it is the demonstrations of faith, the deep sacrificial ones, that make such a big difference. And you and I will never really know the impact of the small gifts that we give as an obedient thing and a faithful response to God's love for us. Saying, God, I know you're going to provide for me. Now, these encouragements are on the app along with the praises and prayers of the church. We want you to pray with us and praise with us every single week. But there's also registration opportunities for amazing things coming up at Highlands. Now, here's the first one. On Christmas Eve, we are going to have 3 services, 2 p.m., 4 p.m., and 6 p.m. And we're going to have them inside, and we are going to have candlelight as the band sings A Holy Night. And as we do that, we expect that there will be more visitors than ever this year, and we want you to be the one inviting those visitors. But as you do invite those visitors and you find that they're attending, would you please go on the website and RSVP? Now, why would you need to do that? It's not required. Anybody who comes can enter the worship service without having RSVP'd. But what's cool is it shows us which services are really full or which services have more room ahead of time. And because we do this, every year that we've done this, we've never turned a single person away because we don't have room left in the worship service. So it really, really works Everybody gets a seat, and we have tons of room for visitors. So please RSVP for Christmas. And then we have our big Christmas offering where we're asking you to give sacrificially, give from a place of love and obedience and trust that God's going to provide for you. These gifts are going to help support the ministries of Highlands Church for youth and seniors and the food distribution for months, for years to come. So everything that we do next year relies upon these gifts. You may not know this, but 1/3 of all gifts to nonprofits in the United States happen in the month of December. Think about that, 1/3. That means that those people and those gifts are demonstrations of faith that those nonprofits will do great things in the coming year. Highlands Church is no different, and we need 1/3 of all of our giving to come in the next month. And if it happens, and we trust it will, amazing things are going to happen, things that we can't even imagine. And of course, we have this last thing happening on Saturday, December 10th. This is the big announcement nobody knows about. We have our snow hill that's going to be on Vine Street, and it's going to be at 6 o'clock on Saturday, December 10th, and thousands of people will be a part of it. Please register to be a part of the setup team and come check it out with all of your neighbors and visitors. It's going to be an incredible time. We want you to be a part of it. If there's any way that we can support you or lift you up in this season, we want to be there for you, whether it's financially or spiritually, or there's any other way that we could lift you up. Maybe you need meals or an encouragement. We want to be there for you. We love you. We care about you. And we are so thankful that we get to worship with you. I can't thank you enough for all of the times that you allow us to walk through worship and to walk through this life with you. You are so beautiful when you lift up God in worship, whether it's at home or it's in person. You mean the world to us, and we're so thankful to have this honor. And worship recently, by the way, has been so amazing. We've heard the congregation lifting up voices together. So let's celebrate God for that and all the worship that will take place between now and Christmas Eve and that big candlelighting moment. God bless you, and take care.